Good evening, YouTube. I hope all is well with you. I wanted to do a quick video this evening on how the narcissist plays themselves as the victim. But I wanted to start out first and read from Psalms 36, 3 and 4. And it reads, "The words of their mouths are wicked and deceitful. They fail to act wisely or do good. Even on their beds, they plot evil. They commit themselves to a sinful course and do not reject what is wrong." So I wanted to talk about how the narcissist plays themselves as the victim. I was recently in a situation where I realized that on numerous occasions, when I in fact have come in contact with narcissists, they've all had, many of them have had a story about how their ex was a narcissist, or somebody narcissistically abused them. So I wondered, like, what would be the motivation behind them playing themselves as the victim? And I came up with several key points as to why I think the narcissist does this. And the first one would be because it creates a sense of a bond. If we come together and we're in a conversation and we have something in common, I'm sharing my story with you and you're sharing your story with me, and we have, a scenario in which we have both experienced similar things, there's a sense of approval that takes place. I understand where you're coming from, you understand where I'm coming from, and it creates a bond. Many sisterhoods are created through sharing our stories. So I believe that this is one of the reasons why the narcissist does that, is because it creates a sense of a bond. Unfortunately, because it's based on lies, it's a false sense of a bond. But I believe that that is one of the reasons why the narcissist does that. Also, when you go into a conversation with someone and you feel comfortable enough to begin to share your story, there's a level of trust that is established. You don't just tell the intimate details of, painful scenarios that you went through if you're not starting to establish trust with a person. So another thing that it does is it begins to establish or lay the foundation, for trust. That's another reason why I believe they do it. I also think that the narcissist does this is because it allows them to probe and to see where your level of awareness is pertaining to narcissistic abuse. It allows them to ask you questions, to probe, to see exactly where you stand and what it is that you understand narcissistic abuse to be. So it gives them access, intimate access to determine exactly where you are and where you stand. Another reason I believe is that it gives them a sense of what your level of tolerance is. So as you're explaining to them the great details, of what happened in your relationship with the narcissist is sitting there thinking, okay, so if this happened in that relationship, then I'll definitely be able to, to get one over on them in this one. It gives them a sense of how far and how deep they can go with the narcissistic abuse, against you. It gives them a gauge as to what your level of tolerance is. Another reason why I believe that the narcissist does this is it's narcissistic supply. Because, when they come to you, they're looking for sympathy, they're looking for attention, so as they're telling you their story and you're sympathizing with them, never mind the fact that what they're telling you is lies. The narcissist is able to just bypass this and to extract out of the conversation what they need. So in you listening to them, and in you with you approving, what they went through, and yeah, I experienced that too. It's a level of narcissistic supply. So those are the key reasons why I particularly believe that the narcissist steps up to the table and poses as the victim in the situation. I think that it just opens up the door for them to extract the information that they need to set the stage to see how they can maneuver and further use this information against you to narcissistically abuse you. So if I've said anything that has helped you, hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Have a blessed and a narc-free evening.